All right, guys, as Michael was explaining to you, if you point your browser to Emini Futures Trading.com, that's where you will find that very special offer that he was just talking about. Over the years, the single most requested thing that has crossed my desk has been to purchase individual items from the CFRN Emini method, whether it be weekly trading zones or just the indicators or just the logic. We've stayed away from doing that, and there's a good reason why. Our goal is to help you learn how to trade. So that really does require a complete package. Okay, how many times have you bought indicators off of somebody? They gave you a PDF, a hearty handshake, a pat on the back, and see ya. And that's the last time you see them. And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work, maybe it works some of the time, but not the rest of the time. And Jiminy Crickets, if you could just talk to the guy that developed the doggone thing, maybe all's not lost. Maybe there's some slim chance of hope that you can figure out how to make this thing work that you paid for. So we've just stayed away from that whole business because all the indicators and oscillators and secrets and magical numbers in the world won't help you if you don't know how to trade. And so that's where I think we really shine. We teach you everything you need to know. We put everything under one roof. But of course, there are folks out there who already have a methodology, they already have a strategy, and it's working okay. But they know that it could be better, and they watch these recaps day after day after day. And by the way, the recap you just saw Michael do and the one that I'll do today, we've done that every day for years, and you can go back and watch the recorded video of the show at youtube.com/CFRN. Go back a week, go back a month, go back 6 months. You'll see us and hear us doing the exact same thing, using the exact same words, and you'll hear me talking about the exact same principles upon which everything we do operates. Everything that we do is fluid across all markets, all time frames. You're an S&P 5-minute trader? Okay. You're a crude daily trader? Okay. Yeah, you trade the euro on a 4-hour chart? Okay. Everything we do, everything you'll see me do and talk about today, again, is fluid across all markets and all time frames. So while we think the complete package where you not only get the indicators or the tools, but you also get the support, the training, the help that you need to learn how to trade, we held a conference with Santa, and he said, guys, just for a minute, break open the toolbox. Let the people have what they want. So that's exactly what we're doing. Our E-mini training allows you to trade with confidence, not fear. How many mornings have you woken up with that knot in the pit of your stomach, wondering if today's the day it all goes away? Is today the day you can no longer control yourself and discipline yourself, that you just go haywire, clicking the mouse left and right willy-nilly, and before you know it, your trading business that you woke up with, poof, it's gone. Until you wire more money to Chicago, of course. How many times have we all done that? So what Michael and I have done, we've assembled under one roof, for one low price, that complete package. Yes, we're breaking open the toolbox today until midnight, allowing you to get your hands on that one thing that you really want. The good news is we'll be around next week, next month, and next year, God willing. We've been here since 2005. When you call our number, 949-42-EMINI, somebody either answers the phone or you get a call back pretty doggone quick. We man our social media and email literally 24/7. You can find me most days, most evenings, most early mornings in the Telegram channel. That's where we do much of our business. We have a number of different channels. Some are private, members only. Some are open to the public. We got a channel for everything. We got a channel for the Logic 247 alerts. We got a channel for the Concierge Trade Alerts. We got one for the weekly trading zones. We've got discussion groups. We even have one called CFRN Breeze. That's where we go when we want to just shoot the breeze and talk about something other than markets. Now, you've woken up too many mornings with that knot in the pit of your stomach, wondering if. It doesn't have to be that way. Once you understand how markets work, the sting of being stopped out goes away. Because as you learn how markets work, you learn that any methodology or any strategy, if it tries to go beyond the realm of probability, it's a blind alley. It's gonna cost you financial and mental anguish. Now, the accounts I blew up as I was learning to trade Emini Futures, the financial damage was significant, but it was the psychological damage that was the most difficult to recover from. Again, it doesn't have to be that way. When you understand that a trade you just put on is going to do one of two things, and then it goes on to do one of those two things, not only do you understand why it did what it did, it just takes the complete sting out of being stopped out, because even though the trade wasn't profitable, you knew the market was going to do this or that, and it always does this or that. So even though you're not profitable on some of your trades, you were still right. And there's that little part of us that really wants to be right. Now, that's a hang-up that you need to get over if you're going to become a consistently profitable E-mini trader, or a trader of any kind. That drive to always be right and correct has probably blown up more accounts than anything else. How many times have you watched a chart, you've hawked it, you understand what's happening, and let's face it, the market just can't go any higher, and then it does. Or after a huge sell-off, you catch a bounce, you got a double bottom, the fix is in, no way this baby's going any lower, and then it does. Got to understand, this is a business based on probabilities, and the minute you try to make it with any kind of indicator, any kind of oscillator, any kind of strategy, the moment you try to make it anything more than a probability, you're doomed. You're doomed to a life of blowing up accounts and sending another wire to Chicago, blowing that up and sending another wire to Chicago. It doesn't have to be that way. When you go to this page, EminiFuturesTrading.com, tells you that what we do is fluid across all markets: S&P, Dow, Russell, NQ, Crude, gold, euro, soybeans, and more. Fluid across all markets, fluid across all time frames. You're a 5-minute trader? Okay. 30-minute, hourly, daily. Maybe you're still trading the tick chart. Okay, now we use a range chart in the live training room to teach our core methodology. That's different than a tick chart. tick charts tend to be very fast, depending upon how many ticks. Lots of folks like to use Fibonacci numbers. I just thought there was some incredible magic behind the 89 tick chart. Turns out there wasn't. Then I got hung up on the 233 tick chart. Long story I won't go into. That's how Michael and I met many years ago, over a 233 tick chart from opposite sides of the country. But that's a story for another day. The CFRN Emini method never sleeps. We crank up Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern when Globex opens. We keep the pedal to the metal till Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern when the markets close. The live training room is open 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. But our Telegram office, our Telegram channels are live around the clock. You could get an alert at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. The clock on the wall does not dictate when you will get an alert. Opportunity in the market, that's what dictates if and when you'll get an alert. Now, everybody who's ever attempted trading futures has heard about the S&P 500 E-mini. It's what most folks want to trade. And everybody's heard that if you can learn to make just 2 points a day in the S&P, well, that's $100 per contract. So fast math tells me if I'm trading 10 contracts, that's $1,000 a day. Who wouldn't feel grand if they made $1,000 a day? 2 points. We'll take a look at the range of the market, even on range-bound days, and you'll clearly see that there's never been a day that the market didn't provide an opportunity to take at least a couple points out of the market. On the screen, you see one of our Concierge Trade Alerts, which suggested being long at 28.98. Now, when it ran from 98 up to 2,900, well, there's a couple points. Back below the trigger, another couple points. Back below the trigger, 14 points up to the target overhead at 2912/13. This is not unusual. Our alerts are unique, and everyone who's traded them understands this. They're unique in the respect that important prices, important areas, which is where our alerts show up, are almost always tested. So if you've struggled to reach your goal of 2 points a day, I mean, everybody talks about it, but if you want to see someone actually do it, all you have to do is tune into this radio program or go to the YouTube archive. There's years of radio programs, each one archived. The good days, the bad days, the ugly days. If it's a day ending in Y and the markets are open, there's a show, and we talk about whatever happened. Whatever happened in the live training room, whatever happened in Telegram, the concierge alerts, or the logic alerts. We don't sweep anything under the carpet. If you're going to learn how to trade for a living, especially, you're going to need someone to teach you who not only understands what they're talking about, but who's willing to be transparent with you and help you to understand the good, the bad, and the ugly. So do that after the show today. Go to that archive, youtube.com/CFRN. Pick a show at random. Like I say, go back a week, go back a month, go back a year, go back 3 years. Fast forward up to the point where Michael's doing the recap of the room. He's using the same terms, the same examples, the same principles today that we used 6 years ago. When something isn't broken, it's best not to try and fix it. I've seen too many potentially successful traders with a truly definable edge that can't be satisfied with their edge. So they try to put an edge on the edge, and then an edge on that edge, and pretty soon there's no edge at all. There's just confusion and chaos. It takes discipline to refrain from that. Now, we all know you can't change the past, and a lot of websites out there try to convince you that they know the future. When God created Adam back in Genesis, there's no place in the list of ingredients that went into Adam do we see the ability to know the future. And that's still true today. You cannot know with certainty what will happen next in trading or in life. The sooner you're able to accept that, the higher the probability that you can succeed as a trader. Now, knowing what the next high probability move is versus saying you know with certainty what will happen next, those two are as different as night and day. One of them will cause you to continue blowing up accounts and wiring money to Chicago. The other will allow you to actually learn how to trade. Now, not only did God not give Adam the ability to know the future, he also didn't give him the ability to change the past. So the next time somebody tells you that they can tell the future, ask them to change the past, because those two are inextricably linked for eternity. It's just not possible. Now, if we can't change the past, maybe we can change our future. We may not be able to know it with certainty, but the things that we think, say, and do today most surely are the building blocks of our tomorrow. Maybe you've been knocked down this year. Maybe I touched on something very sensitive. Maybe you have blown up a couple of accounts this year. John, I'll be with you in a few minutes.
Thanks.
Maybe you've been knocked down a few times this year. Maybe you don't have the ability, or so it seems, to get back up again. Well, I'm telling you now, you must get back up again. I want you to get a hold of myself or Michael this afternoon. We'll talk to you about where you are, where you want to be, and then we'll work with you on a plan to help you get there. Whether your goal is to trade for a living or to simply supplement your current income, you're going to need professional Emini training and indicators if you're going to keep the dream alive. There's the number, 949-42 Emini. I promise you that I won't give up on you if you don't give up on yourself. Too many new traders, 9 out of 10, make the mistake of trying to become the perfect trader. To most new traders, perfect trading means never getting stopped out. But that's not a reality. My good friend and trading legend, Mark Douglas, he taught me that perfection means knowing what to do, when to do it, and nothing else. This is the truth about trading. Every professional trader gets stopped out. Every consistently profitable trader gets stopped out. Yet most new traders exhaust themselves and their capital trying to do the exact opposite, not get stopped out. Why? Because they believe the lie. The lie that comes with many of those magical indicators and mystical oscillators. They're all variations of the original lie that promises easy money and a flashy lifestyle. And the only ones that are not laughing their way to the bank are brand new traders or struggling traders, hard-working folks just like you, just trying to learn, just trying to earn, only to get burned. again. And whew, off goes another wire to Chicago. Friends, trading's not easy, but with our Emini indicators and Emini training, it can be simple. Now, this is a limited offer. We've never done it before, and it's only good until midnight tonight. You can go to this page, eminifuturestrading.com. You can select Logic 247, the Concierge Trade Alerts, the weekly trading zones, our proprietary indicator set, our methodology. You can bring along a spouse or a best friend. You can upgrade from annual to lifetime. You can have access to our unlimited one-on-one mentoring. And you don't have to spend a dime today. No interest, no payments until June of 2020. Now, this offer is made by PayPal. We don't finance, we don't do payments. I went into great detail yesterday. If you take this avenue, whatever your total purchase price is, you need to divide that by 6. And even though you're not required to make a payment for 6 months, you send in a payment every month, or you segregate those funds into some interest-bearing account so that when the bell tolls in 6 months, you have the money put aside so that you never have to pay a penny of interest. Now, I can't finish this without saying the best offer is still the CFRN E-mini Passport, because you get everything on this page for one low price. And it's not an annual subscription. No, the Passport is for life. Logic 247, the Concierge Trade Alerts, the weekly zones, the indicators, the methodology, the mentoring, it's all yours. Now, what sales page would be complete without reviews? Sure, we have them. Traders who use our Emini indicators and have participated in our training send us reviews and testimonials all the time. Check them out. Better Business Bureau, Facebook, Google, CFRN. But here's the problem with reviews. Anybody can write a review, positive or negative. And they can post that sucker anywhere on the internet from Amazon to Yelp. But you already know that. That's why you're a little suspicious of those reviews. We have a better idea. Talk to our members. Nobody does this. But then we do a lot of things that no one else does. We have 2 discussion groups on Telegram, one for members, one for guests. We're inviting you to go and talk to our partners, to our members, to our passport holders. These are real people just like you, who are struggling just like you, who kept blowing up accounts just like you and sending more money to Chicago just like you. Talk to them. They're real people. You're invited to join the discussion group. Ask them about their journey with us. Ask about our Emini indicators and our Emini training. All you got to do is click this link. It'll take you to Telegram. If you don't have Telegram installed already, it's a free app. It's fast. It's secure. Go to telegram.org. In fact, when you click that link, it'll pop up and it'll recognize that you don't have Telegram. And there'll be a handy link to install it. It takes just a moment. Doesn't hog up a lot of space on your computer. But it is the doorway to everything that we do. If you have questions, of course, there's a contact form. Very important in terms of service. Prior to purchase, you must read all CFTC risk disclosures and CFRN disclaimers. Click the link and read before you click the buy button. Okay, now this offer is good through midnight tonight. So make your decision, make your choice, get in line at the checkout counter. Valerie will take very good care of you. She always does. Let's go to John. Let me get his mic back open. John, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Sorry to have to put you on hold, but I'm glad to have you with us.
That sounds like a hell of a deal you're offering there. What's the passport deal? How much is, what's that?
The passport is under
Or have you got a special, have you
$5,000.
got a special deal on that
We
or
do,
what?
yep. It's $49.97.
Oh, okay, so it's like a pretty heavy deal. All right. And what's the timeline on that as far as
Midnight
uh,
tonight. The
no,
passport's
but
always available. The passport's always
so
available.
is there a deal like is there a some time on that passport deal
On
or not?
the passport is available all the time. The individual
And
indicators
it
and
doesn't
the
Okay, but
expire.
like
methodology are
There's
only
is
no
available
there
through
expiration date on
midnight.
it.
but is I get that, but is it are you gonna like you've got a 6 month deal for each part of it? Is there some kind of a similar deal for the passport or not?
The passport's for life.
No, I realize that, but is there any kind of a like a monthly or
No.
so there's no freebies on the passport then? It's basically
The
You
passport
can
includes
you can
everything.
still use PayPal credit and get the 6 month deal.
oh you can with the
Yeah,
passport
yeah, with the passport you can do that too. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
you know what? I didn't
Well,
understand your question. Thanks
I'm
for
glad I
jumping
clarified
in
that
there,
there.
Michael.
Yeah. Any of our products that's over $99, you can use that 6 month PayPal thing.
That's kind of an interesting idea. So what
Yeah.
happens? Does PayPal pay it? Is that the deal? And
They pay us up front and then you pay them.
that's pretty
Yeah.
clever.
Yeah.
Clever for you. I mean,
Yeah,
so
we've done
what?
business with PayPal. You know, lots of people have gripes with PayPal, and we've all had our aggravations and our moments with it. But they've done a good job for us, with a couple of exceptions. For gosh, going on right now about 8 years.
You can thank Elon Musk for that.
Yeah,
and,
pretty smart
and the
guy.
other guy from Ukraine. Hold on a sec.
All right, guys, let's bring up the S&P 500 chart.
Okay, sorry. So the yeah. Speaking of PayPal, I kind of got an interesting situation. Not ready to expose this yet, but I might in the new year. It's kind of a similar deal. Potential. It's got similar upside potential to PayPal. It's a kind of an early stage tech company.
I think I might have heard of this. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I saw just an advertisement the other day that says the new PayPal competitor. I don't know if that's what you're referring to or not.
No, it's something different, but
Okay.
it's something that everybody needs, and it's a it's a in the embryonic stages at the moment, but very interesting group of guys doing it, and I might actually be able to get you to introduce you to them and get a kind of a briefing on it because they're only down the road from you in Scottsdale. So
Okay. Sounds good.
yeah, and maybe you can, if you like it. I mean, it's an incredible deal. It's I mean, this is one of those deals that it's a little bit like it's kind of like Google. Remember a lot of these companies when they were starting out were kind of make or break. A lot of companies are make or break in the early stages, and if the Google guys didn't get that first $100,000 from the smartest investor that ever lived, as it turns out, they might never have gotten started, but they did, and look at what they've done for the world. So this is in that genre. This kind of thing. It's kind of like PayPal. There's a sort of Google, PayPal, Facebook. All of these things, even, in the early stages of Facebook, there was a lot of infighting and skullduggery and,
I think there still is to some degree.
yeah, right. But Zuckerberg won out and he was the right guy for the job because look what he's done. These guys who fight their way out of these kinds of things, end up doing really well, and people who are tenacious and they stay with it. It's like that, TMRC today, Texas Mineral Resources Corp is
it running again today?
well, it got to 158, and it started pulling back a little bit, and and look, the reason why this is potentially such a big deal is it looks like they're going to get potentially funded by the government. First time since the Manhattan Project. So, this rare earth thing is super critical to the future of the U.S. It's super.
Is the
it's probably,
U.S. funding the research and development or the discovery aspect of the
I
company?
don't know the details of. I'll try and find out for you what it is. But it could be a very substantial thing because, look, the Space Force just got created. That's going to be a major user of rare earths. The electric cars, the phones, it's just on a never ending. And obviously with China being what it is, there's no, they can't be, held hostage by China's whims as to whether they're going to sell rare earths to the US or Japan or anybody else. So they have to get this thing fixed. And I guess they've had a wake-up call now, and they're not going to be shanghaied by anybody. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
To be
fair to
look
Dan,
at this, John. Look at this on the screen. I just googled rare earth market, but look at this link and tell me what's the first thing that pops into your mind.
a motor.
Motor, yeah.
Yeah, right. How about that? Yeah.
Momentum radar.
Momentum radar. Yeah.
And then it's got
That
intelligence
acronym.
on it on top of that. So
Right. No, thanks. So, by the way, there's a release out on Santa Fe today. Probably the best release company's ever put out in some respects.
yeah, let's have
In terms of its potential. Let's put it.
Let's see, it should be posted on the company site, right?
I'm not sure if it's there yet. Just go to Yahoo. You probably just to be sure.
December 27th, Santa Fe Gold to immediately begin recommissioning its Bolali mine to boost production of gold and silver siliceous material from 2 mines as soon as possible. Company to ramp up production.
This is the second mine now to come into production. And the reason why they're able to do this is because they figured out a way to get it up and running really quick. So, this is a potentially larger mine. Look, the publicly disclosed information it's been out since 2011, so it's no secret. But if you don't know about it, but there's 210,000 tons of ore, I believe, 219,000 tons of ore, of about a half an ounce per ton. So, do the math on that, and probably worth about 130 million, something like that. Well, it's substantially more than the market cap. And obviously, if they can produce 100 tons a day, I believe the Bolali can do 200 or 300 tons in the future. I think it did it in the past. They can, you do the math. If it's half an ounce per ton, that's about $700, $750 per ton, times say 100 will be 75 grand a day, along with the other mine, the Jim Crow, probably 100,000 a day within a few months. Is a hell of a startup, and that's $500,000 a week. That's 12 million run rate. So yeah, it's pulling back a bit. This TMRC today might have kind of run out of gas a bit. So I'll tell you, the market's running out of gas today. This is the day we've been expecting.
Now, John, up on the screen, I'm on the TMRC website.
Yeah.
Let me draw your attention to this. Is the chart of TMRC. This is what's happened going back to early December. We were trading, or they were trading. I don't own any shares in TMRC. My disclaimer on Santa Fe is posted on the CFRN website. So we were down here in November at about 26 cents. And we just ran up to What's the high? $157?
158, 158.
158. Now, this gentleman here, Daniel Gorski,
Just got appointed to the board of Santa Fe.
would that be the same Dan Gorski
That's
that
the
we
same
see right
guy.
here?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, Dan,
I'll
welcome
tell you what, he
aboard.
told
Glad to
me
have
quite
you
a
with
long
us.
time ago that he said, look, there's a lot of pretenders in the rare earth space, and they're the real deal. And if you look at all the other rare earth stocks, none of them are going up like this one. So it's he doesn't need any kind of proof as to what his potential is. I mean, this guy, look, I just tell you, all the miners down, we got some world-class miners in Santa Fe, and the miners down there saying they've had 50 geologists through their mines over the years. This guy's the best guy they've ever come across, bar none. So that's an incredible asset to have in any company, and that's probably one of the reasons why he came out with this announcement today, because they want to get and look, there's they're not just going to bring the Bilali into production. They've got 2 more mines to get up and running as soon as those mines are operating at full output. So 4 mines from 0 to 4 mines within a year will be quite an
That's quite
accomplishment.
outstanding.
Yeah.
And the addition of Dan, boy, that it gives you just an added layer of confidence where this project is headed and what the
Well, not only that,
possibilities and probabilities are.
he was trying to buy the properties that Santa Fe ended up getting before he actually joined Santa Fe. That's why he's in, because he wants. In his own words, he's so highly, he's so up on these properties that he wants to be involved, and he's the world authority on the Alhambra project. This guy knows. I mean, he's been working that project since the 70s, and he knows more than anybody probably in the world of what's there, and that will be revealed in time as they do a lot of. They've got to do some proving up, but in time probably in the same way as TMRC is moving. It's at some point in the future, especially if silver gets into the 20s or 30s. The world's going to figure out. I mean, listen, this is 15 miles from Silver City. Why do they call?
Why do they call it Silver City? Right? Yeah,
City?
exactly.
Because it's like it's like Guanajuato. They've been mining silver in Guanajuato since the 16th century, and there's only 5. This is publicly disclosed. There's only 5 or 6 mines like the Black Orc Alhambra complex in the world, and they're all massive producers. One of them in Canada produced 550 million ounces of silver, the cobalt mine, and they're 5-element mines. They have 5. They're all there's a similar signature of all these mines around the world. There was one in Czechoslovakia, somewhere like that, that basically financed the Roman Empire, not the Roman Empire, but the Roman, that area of the world for like 100 years. So there's and I think that look, Santa Fe is already number 9 in the mid-tier miners in the U.S. That's a pretty
Yeah, that's noted in the press
right,
release.
but I think in time, I expect the company will work its way higher in that ranking, as it delivers. So and it's obviously on track to start delivering almost immediately. So we're certainly very, very grateful for that. So the market has gone negative. The Nasdaq was up about 25 this morning. It was up big yesterday, up 75. So the Nasdaq's risen about 100. We got to 9,000 on the composite by the way, remember, it was when it was 6,000, I said it was going to go to 11. That was my target. So we're up 50% from my call. This might be it. You never know. But I think there's a little bit too much frothiness in this market over the last few days. I actually tweeted out something last night that chuckled a bit. Remember the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's? I got to admit, it's getting better. It's getting better all the time.
Getting better all the time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
It's sort of like what Democrats are starting to figure out, and they're going over to the Republican side because, and all the voters are probably coming to the same conclusion. So there was that, and I also tweeted out "Magic" by Olivia Newton-John because we're in a magic time. There's no doubt about it. We're in the best times of all. There's never been a time like this. And in terms of having incredible phones and all the technology we have, and incredible cars, the cars you buy today are just phenomenal compared to anything previously. So we are really living in a great time, and we should all be grateful. So
indeed we should. We have much to be grateful for.
Oh, by the way, I started following Neil Kashkari today on Twitter. He's the president of the Minnesota Fed. I got a feeling he's going to be the next Fed chairman. He's really kind of an innovative guy, and he's just come out with a new sort of idea that he said, look, because the Fed gets criticized all the time for making the rich richer, and not, we all know it trickles down most of the time, not always. But he's got some plans to start lifting all boats, to lift the poor, lift the, as he called it, the impecunious, which if you Google, or, I actually didn't know the exact meaning of impecunious. And
I don't either. What is it?
It's pretty heartbreaking. People who are, who've been devastated financially is one description. So it was a kind of an appropriate, for the
impecunious. Impecunious, having little or no money, a titled but impecunious family.
Impoverished, it's so it was a very good word, and he wants to lift the impecunious out of their misery. And good luck, good luck to him. I hope I think he's a very innovative guy. I mean, he's like fought his way higher, and I think he's gonna he's pretty young. He's gonna go a long way, and he may be a groundbreaking or a trend changing Fed that could, maybe he's going to be the guy who creates the Roaring '20s. Could be.
When does Jerome's term run out?
I think it goes till. I think it's got a few more years, actually. Maybe a couple of years, maybe even longer. But you never know. He might step down. This guy would be probably a contender, to say the least. So.
Why do you think he might step down?
His big plan right now is he wants to inject $5 trillion in credit into the U.S. economy and really rev it up. And that would be spectacular if he's able to do that. The dollar, by the way, we should look at the dollar. I think the dollar is starting to break down again today. Yeah, this is actually a classic. When you get a kind of a spike like that, and it starts to, when the spike doesn't produce an up move.
So that's not a bad tick. That's.
No, I don't know. No, I think it is a real trade. Something happened there this morning. So this is, going into the last few days of the year. You remember what I said the other day? If we close with 96.50, I think it's curtains for the dollar. We're going to get a massive sell signal on a quarterly and monthly basis. And I would expect actually a downside acceleration in the dollar in the new year, which is probably going to be reflected in the price of gold. And just to give everybody a little bit of a hint, look, I'm not making any, let's just say that a gold company is doing 150,000 a day, right? If gold goes to 2,000, that'll rise to $200,000 a day. Think about that. And that 50,000 a day will be net profit. So think about that in regards to all gold stocks, the Royal Gold, Newmont, JNUG, all these things. You're basically talking about it's not going to be a 25% move up in the gold stocks. It's going to be a multiple of 25%. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. In other words, if a gold stock suddenly increases its earnings by 25%, what's going to happen to the stock price? Is it going to go up double, triple, quadruple?
Well, if we can just get over this hurdle at 1,600, I mean, there's nothing in the way all the way up to 1,800.
It's going to go. It's going to go. Remember what I said a while ago, Dwayne? The day it breaks out above these highs, go back and look at the last time, and we have a similar thing. Every time it took out the red bar, look at that. There was a big advance. See that on the way up to 1900 the last time. And this one is a little bit different because it's taking longer to get through this flag formation. I mean, that's almost a perfect flag if you look at it, right? Mm-hmm. And I believe, look, see that little, see where we came from, right? Where you got the mouse right now. Oh, that's my mouse. Sorry. If you go down to the bottom of the May bottom there, okay?
The May bottom. When? What year?
With your mouse, here, this year. Sorry, in 20. Sorry, the 2018 bottom. That one there. Okay. Yeah. Look at what's going on here. The first leg up was about, I believe, it was about $150. Okay, the first leg. Mm-hmm. Right. Then there was a little bit of a consolidation. Right. The next leg is a $300 move. So geometrically, or exponentially, the next leg, I believe the next leg is a $600 move. So 150, 300, 600. So 2100 is my target, upwards of 2100. And that makes sense because if you go back to the full chart, like you had, if we take out that previous high, probably get up to about 2100, then we might pull back and consolidate, possibly in a range not unlike what we had before. But this time, I think the market breaks higher. The next leg up will be 2,400 to 3,000. So you can see how this thing will accelerate higher in time. And the silver, you might want to put the silver up. We haven't looked at that for a while.
Okay, let's do it.
So, the silver is a super dynamic story. Remember, we nailed the bottom on this one. And call that 19.5 high. This time, I think he's just going to go through like a knife through butter, all the way up to it looks like it's going up to the 30s, this silver. Honestly, I don't see how it can't. If gold goes to a new all-time high, we're almost for sure going to accelerate, going to catch up. I'm not sure if we can get up to 50. At this point, you never know. We could, but I think the day we do take 50, we might get up to 50. Like, for example, we could go to 2,400 gold. We could get to 50. Maybe gold pulls back a bit, and then I think when gold goes to 3,000, then you're going to see 50. You're going to see silver at $60, $70, $60, $70, $80, something like that. I think if we do get to 8750, 8,750, which is my target, we're probably going to get to about 135 on the silver. So it's definitely going to be pretty exciting. And I wouldn't be surprised if Neil Kashkari were, you know, even made deputy governor or deputy Fed head, which is a possibility. You know, I think that probably there'd be a pretty strong uptick in gold and silver prices.
You see this article, John? In Germany, people are lining up to buy gold.
Buy gold bars, yeah. No, a friend of mine told me that.
This new bill is going to, you can purchase gold anonymously now. It used to be 15,000 euros, then they lowered it to 10,000, and this new bill, when it goes into effect, will lower it to 2,000.
This is crazy. Wow.
Scheduled to take effect January 10th.
Holy mackerel. So there's probably going to be a big rally right into the 10th, I would
And
say.
interestingly enough, where all these people are lined up to buy gold, about 2 blocks from there is the headquarters of Carat Bars.
Oh, how about
the
that?
gold-backed crypto. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. No, look, I think this today feels to me. Look, the Aussie and the Canadian. Oh, we should look at those actually, Dwayne. If you can pull them up,
You
the
bet.
Aussie.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, this is a bad move with the RTY and mid cap breaking down too.
Now, I just saw the Russell. That looks like a leader to the downside. We'll have to go
Yeah,
back and look
no,
at that just a second.
I'm really getting a bad feeling about this market here the next few days.
All right,
yeah.
here's the Australian dollar.
Yeah, you know what? This thing's about ready to go. I think.
I posted in the Telegram channel last night that I thought we had found a market top, and so we'll see.
In what?
It's not across the indices.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think you're right on.
So here's the Australian dollar.
Because you know what happened today, Dwayne, which actually hasn't happened for a while, and it's always a bad sign. I mean, look, you know, we've said that, how many times we said on this show, the Dow is the last man standing, right? The Dow's up 40 today. It was up higher. Everything else is negative except the financials, and pretty much. And if we close negative today, it's bad news, because this is at the moment, this is a minor version of what made the top in 2007, you know, not just in July, but also in October before the big sell-off. And going into 2020, it is a carbon copy of 2016. It's an anniversary year. It's an election year. And all of a sudden, the whole perception and dynamics of the markets, are affected by a different set of influences than what has been driving the market this year. Also, you've got earnings coming out in the first quarter. And, the last quarter, look, if it's anything like 2000, you may get some good numbers. But if they open higher and sell off, that usually it kind of marks a top, Now, from a Trumpian's perspective, things couldn't be better, because this never been, I can't even remember when there was ever a 4-year cycle where the market went up the way this market's gone up with Trump.
I don't think there has been.
It's been brilliantly executed. I mean, look, just for the benefit of the listeners, because this is probably a well-kept secret, but it's probably not a secret in terms of presidential advisors and that sort of thing. Probably the financial arm of the deep state, if you like, with the people who probably get rolled over between presidents. But the conventional thinking, look, some presidents come in, they win, and then they tank the markets right early in their presidency with the idea that they sort of had a mid-year bottom or maybe a third-year bottom, right? Mm-hmm. And then they ramp up the market into the fourth year. So everybody goes from misery to ecstasy, or, going into the election. That's the whole idea of getting reelected. And what's very strong about it is, if they create misery early on in the game and then they reverse it to, joy and prosperity, the fact that the change, you go from misery to optimism and prosperity, is actually more powerful than what's going on with Trump at the moment. Why? Because for most of Trump's presidency, it's been getting better and better, just like the song. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who are still not getting the memo, if you like. You know what I mean? They're not the from darkness to light is not as strong as just getting lighter and lighter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, because really the misery was in 2016. That's why Trump got elected, right? And ever since he got elected, the misery index has been rising. It's been getting better and better to happiness, and so it's going to be interesting to see whether we're going to have a landslide, victory with Trump, or whether it's just going to be, just over
A lot
the
of it's going to
finish
depend
line.
upon how the Democrats handle what's left of this impeachment farce. All right, guys, we've looked at the S&P. We've looked at the Dow. We've looked at the Russell.
Sorry, that was the wrong number.
DNQ. Sure. What do you want to take a look at now? Oh, there was a request to look at
I found that.
RGLD.
I found that request for what?
Somebody wanted us to take a look at, Mike wanted us to take a look at RGLD on a weekly chart.
Yeah, it's put its two little feet down there on that, and this is looking like a consolidation here that's broken out. It's probably going to accelerate to the upside here in the next few days. By the way, that symbol was ICTI, I believe, Dwayne. When I was
ICTI. I don't have anything on ICTI.
no, sorry, ITCI.
Oh, ITCI. There we go. Intracellular therapies. Look at that.
Pretty incredible, huh?
Look at that. That's weekly. Let's go to a daily.
Yeah.
All right, so we got higher substantially. Now, is this on? Did they get
This
some
is
kind of
this
approval?
is what I was telling you yesterday. When you start getting stuff like this, that's one sign that a top may be near, and the other one is when you get the. We should look at Sage again. SAGE.
This is a 100% jump.
Yeah, right.
Closed at
right.
$12, opened at above 24.
Yeah. SAGE. That's the opposite. I mean, one day you're at 150, and the next day you're at 60. It's pretty painful.
Yeah, it's very painful.
Yeah. So, and that's what I call, that's my shot across the bows warning. When you start getting things like this, it scares the fund managers because this is quite a widely held stock. It kind of dampens the speculative fever, makes people more cautious, and that can sort of, especially if there's a few of these things happening, that can turn a market. That can actually turn a market. So it's a valid warning sign.
Gotcha. Anything else you want to look at?
No, listen, thanks very much for the hospitality, and good luck with your special offers.
Thank you very much, John. And we'll probably talk to you over the weekend, and if not, I'll talk to you Monday.
Yeah, look, just so that for the benefit of people who haven't been listening all year, you've made some fantastic calls this year. You've captured almost every down move, overnight when people are sleeping. And
half the world's awake.
Yeah, and you've gotten quite a few up moves, and I think you've pretty much done pretty well on this last rally here.
Well, thank you, John. You've made some great calls this year as well. Really appreciate you being a part of the show.
Likewise. It's an honor. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Right.
We'll see you.
You too.
Okay. Okie doke. Let me share this with you. real quick. And I know we got a weekend ahead of us and everybody wants to get out there and do weekend stuff. So I won't hold you too long. Weekly trading zones. What are they? Well, they were created December 14th of 2009, exclusively for CFRN. Passport holders and active partners receive the zones every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. A reminder, through midnight, you too can be a weekly trading zone owner. Just go to eminifutures.com. What are the weekly trading zones? They're important prices in the market and important places on a technical chart. When price reaches a weekly trading zone, only one of three things can happen. The most likely, the one we see repeatedly, is consolidation. The second is rejection. And the third is the slice. This market truth alone right here can play a big part in setting you free from that boom and bust cycle that so many traders get caught up in. Now, when price hits a zone or hits an alert, do we just jump right into the market when the entry price is hit? Well, a word of caution, no matter what methodology or strategy or indicator or oscillator you're trying to use, you better trade that thing in sim until you are consistently profitable. Okay? We feel so strongly about that, it's built into the 24/20 blueprint. We want you to be consistently profitable 10 days in a row. That means reaching your goal in 10 trades or less, 10 consecutive days in a row before you put one dime of real money into the market. Anything else is just foolhardy. Ask a fool who did it, okay? Some consider aggressive risk management the primary predictor of who has the potential to succeed as a trader. If you receive the Logic 247 alerts or the Concierge Trade Alerts, you should never feel compelled to just trade it because it's an alert. Observe the alert, observe the chart, so that you develop a working knowledge of how markets work. After observing and trading sim, you'll be able to determine your best entry at, above, or below the alert price. Many of our alerts have multiple targets. Do we exit at the first target? The decision is designed to be a fluid one, not a predetermined one. A structured alert pinpoints the entry, high probability, where you're likely to find potential turbulence, the first target, and then takeoff. Final target, price will either launch an extension, become an extended move, or that's where it's going to reverse. Important prices, important areas. As the market flows, these areas become increasingly obvious with continued exposure to the Logic 247 methodology. With all discretionary trading, you have the luxury and the pitfalls that accompany stop-loss placement. Ultimately, it's a decision that you must make. Our guideline on the alerts, if it costs more than $300 to determine whether or not your narrative of the market action is truly unfolding, consider waiting for a re-trigger, which usually offers you less risk and greater profit potential, or go look at another market. Our traders use a proprietary three-step method to isolate a stop-loss placement based on information that comes not from the TV, not from the radio, not from the internet, not from a book, but from the chart itself. That live, living, breathing chart. There's two types of folks in the market. Those who believe with enough of the right stuff, they'll somehow learn to discern what will happen next. Number two, as much as the professional trader wants you to believe he or she is a divine being of a higher order, a master of fortune telling, if you will, they're no different from number one. However, not being different is not being the same. You should Google this. Define professional trader. Last time I checked, it pops right to the top in a Google search. I wrote this quite a few years ago, and I still stand behind it 100% today. If you're wondering, who am I? Who am I as a trader? Will I ever become a professional trader? What is a professional trader? Google that. Perhaps you'll recognize yourself in my article. Along with what you read there, keep in mind the vast canyon separating the profitable trader from the unprofitable is summed up by a period or a question mark. Now, if we read the statement from number one, what will happen next? It takes on a different meaning if we stick a question mark at the end of it. What a profound difference a mark on a page or a misled belief can make. One is blinded by illusion, the other is blinded by truth. And you get to choose today which one you prefer. One last time, our very special offer is at eminifutures.com. When you get to the place that says our Emini training allows you to trade with confidence, not fear. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of waking up with that knot in the pit of your stomach, do something about it. It won't go away by itself. Trading is not a spectator sport. You got to take the bull by the horns, or else it's just all bull. EminiFuturesTrading.com. This is where you can select tools and methodology from our toolbox. Never offered before. This is a one-time offer. It will expire at midnight. Go shopping. Be good to yourself. Get ready for the new trading year 2020. You don't have to spend any money today. But be sure you follow the recipe that I gave you to make sure when that bill comes due in June of next year, you have the money. I do not want you paying interest. Very generous of the folks at PayPal to extend this offer, and we thank them very much. The passport is everything a trader needs. One low price. When you go to that page and you make your selection, take an extra look at the passport, because it is exactly what it says. Everything a trader needs. One low price. And you're done buying stuff off the internet to assist you as a trader or to teach you how to trade for life. You're done. It's that simple. Let's go to our good word for the day. But let me put you on hold 1 second first. I'll be right back. And just like that, I'm back. We're going to start a little mini-series about God's timing. How's your timing? My timing's off sometimes. Galatians 4:4 says, when the right time came, God sent his Son. Now, God doesn't consult us to make sure his plans line up with our timetable. No, God sets the schedule. Sometimes we have to run to keep up, and other times we have to slow down in order to get in step with him. Mary planned to marry Joseph, then have a child, but God had a different plan. The child had to be without inherited sin. So he needed a perfect father. Therefore, the Holy Spirit overshadowed her. Humanly speaking, the timing couldn't have been worse. Mary became pregnant before she got married, and Joseph wasn't the father. Besides being excluded, the law said she could be stoned to death. How did she respond to the message of the angel? Amazingly. Then Mary said, behold the maidservant of the Lord. Let it be to me according to your word. God has a set plan, and he's always working towards it. The trouble is, we are only working with limited information, so we become impatient and upset when he doesn't answer our prayers when we think he should or in the way that we think he should. It's said that George Mueller, evangelist and founder of the Ashley Down Orphanage in Bristol, England, once waited on the dock for a special chair to be delivered. He had a bad back and needed the chair for his ocean voyage. When departure time came and it still hadn't arrived, his friends offered to buy him one. But Mueller said, either God will provide or he will give me the grace to do without. Then, just like a Hollywood ending, the chair arrived right on time. God is always right on time. He knows what he's doing. Put your faith and your trust in him. And that's our good word for the day. Now, it is the weekend. CFRN charter dictates that you must spend some quality time with your family. Of course, I'll see you in church on Sunday. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.